life right, cause it can't miss. All about the game, that's a cold switch. Serving up the truth, call it ruthless. Tune in and get your fix from Blake and Vish Sports.
I guess, do you want me to? I guess I would go with my best NFC team. And It's a team that actually has been built similarly with the Niners. They don't really, I guess they have in recent years invested in the cornerback, but their bread and butter is the defensive line. And that's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think right now, I know the way the NFC is seated or is sort of placed right now, there's 4 or 5 teams that have been really, really good. You know, Cowboys, Cardinals, Rams, Packers, Buccaneers all have 5 or 6 wins, only 1 loss or 0 losses for the Cardinals. But I still am taking the Buccaneers as the team that's going to come out of the NFC this year. Tom Brady has been as good as ever. They still have, I mean, can we even call Antonio Brown the third receiver anymore? I feel like we have to. I can't. I feel like we can't do that. It has to be Evans or Godwin because AB has been amazing. He has been fantastic. He hasn't really lost much at all. I feel like if he was the number one, or sorry, not the number one, but if there was more targets to go around or to him, he would be putting up top 7 stats right now. And he already has been playing great, but I like that part. They've had some injuries in the secondary, which is concerning, but that D-line is still just it can take over games. You have JPP and Barrett on the outside, and then Vita Vea, who one of the best nose tackles, if not the best in the entire league. And I still am taking this Buccaneers team above pretty much all of them. And they have experience too. And I think that's something that you don't want to have to say, but I think it is important. This Cardinals team has not been to the playoffs under Kingsbury and Kyler. I kind of worry about that. Last year we saw the Bills. They were up and coming 13-3, and they laid a dud against the Chiefs, and their offense wasn't even that great against the Ravens. So the inexperience there is concerning to me, and I think it could be similar to what the Cardinals experienced this postseason if they do make it. So for that reason, experience, having Tom, having a really, really good defense, or the making of one, like they came on strong at the end of the year last year, is why I have them number 1.
I agree with you. I think Tampa's the best team in the NFC. I don't think that has changed since maybe the last 4 or 5 weeks of the last year's regular season. They ran through the playoffs. They dominated just about everybody. I think for sure, I'm 100% with you. I mean, you talked about their front, right? Their secondary is banged up, but I would say where Tampa differs from the 49ers, they've invested a lot of draft assets into their secondary. Their secondary is filled with young second and third round picks that they've drafted. I mean, when you go down the list, Jamel Dean was a top, I think, 60, 70 pick. Carlton Davis was a top 40 pick. Sean Murphy Bunting was a top 50 pick. Antoine Winfield Jr. was a top 50 pick. Jordan Whitehead was another one of their picks. They just have drafted really talented athletes in the second or third round. And I think that's allowed them to have this young, explosive, at times inexperienced, but talented secondary to go with a dominant front seven, the best front seven in football. And they signed those guys. They drafted Vita Vea, who's the guy that makes it all go. He's a special player. And then around him, Jason Pierre-Paul has had a career resurgence. Ndamukong Suh is still a dominant football player. I mean, I took some flack last year because I think Ndamukong Suh is a Hall of Famer, but I still think Ndamukong Suh is a Hall of Famer for what he's been. I don't think he's lived up to the hype he had coming out of Nebraska. People were thinking this is the next, Reggie White type defensive lineman, or he would be what Aaron Donald's been. He hasn't been that, but I think he's a special defensive lineman, and he's been one throughout his career. I think that you look at the rest of their front seven, Levante David, another guy who I think is a Hall of Famer. He's been unheralded for most of his career. But if you look at the 3 linebackers that have been the special linebackers of the 2010s, it's been Kuechly, Bobby Wagner, and Levante David. And Levante David's name always gets omitted in that conversation, but he is a fantastic player. Devin White's an explosive, very good player. They're just so talented. I mean, Shaq Barrett's obviously fantastic, but I think what makes this team special is their offense is unstoppable. Tom Brady last year had to go through a little bit of an adjustment process of joining a new team and playing in a different system and all of that. This year, it's guns blazing. He's in full control. And Tom Brady, I mean, I can't put into words what it's like watching a 44-year-old man throw the ball the way Tom Brady is. He still has one of the top 10 best arms in the NFL. He is slinging it everywhere. He looks more mobile. He looks more mobile to me in terms of he's always been fantastic in terms of his movement in the pocket, but he looks more mobile in terms of his ability to move outside of the pocket now, which is stunning. Their receivers are obviously fantastic. Antonio Brown, is still Antonio Brown. I'm 100% with you. I think he's the best receiver on this team. I know Mike Evans is a great player. Most people think he's a top 10 receiver in the NFL. Chris Godwin, most people would say, is in the top 15, 16. I think Antonio Brown is so good. I think he's also a top 10 receiver in the NFL right now, and I think he's the best receiver on this team, and I think his chemistry with Brady is like unreal. They have like I think his chemistry, honestly, on that team, it's Gronk and Antonio Brown who have the two best chemistry with Brady. It feels like Brady and Antonio Brown are always on the same page. And then you just go down the list. I mean, Leonard Fournette has been very good this year. Ronald Jones is a good player. He's had some bad moments, whether it be in pass protection and Bruce Arians calling him out a little bit, but he's still a good player. And then Gio Bernard looked like what the James White type guy earlier this year before he got hurt. So I think overall it is Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay has been the best team start to finish. I know they lost to the Rams, and the Rams are a big-time football team too, with Matthew Stafford looking phenomenal. Arizona's mighty talented. Kyler Murray might be the MVP of football right now, if not for maybe Tom Brady. But I think overall, top to bottom, especially when Tampa Bay gets healthy, they will be the best team.
Yeah, and we didn't even mention, too, they played the Cowboys really close on opening night, and people are still, skeptical of the Cowboys due to what happened last year with Dak being out. And even when he was there, they weren't as good as they are right now. But they beat Dallas, too. And Dallas, they're 5-1. They've won some big games. So that I think that goes to show, like, Tampa Bay can compete with pretty much anyone, and they're not over-reliant on their offense to win them every game or their defense to shut anyone out. It's a combination of both, which I think is really key for them. But that's going to be the Buccaneers and sort of why they're still the best NFC team, and you just can't count them out yet until Brady retires and he's gone. You just can't do it. But